Well, we've all had a horrible boss or two in our lifetime, but how do you deal with them? Allison Lin is a senior writer with CNBC.com, and she wrote a great article on CNBC.com this morning on this very topic, the psycho boss. I mean, there's a difference between having a horrible boss and having a psycho boss, right?
Yes, definitely. I mean, there are a lot of bad bosses out there. Most of us probably have a bad boss, but the psycho boss is kind of this, actual clinically psychopathic person.
And how do you deal with that as an employee? What are your options to, stay sane yourself, and two, survive?
Well, I think if you have a really bad boss, just a mean boss, then there are tools. There's all these management books out there. But if you have a truly psychopathic boss, the psychologist we talked to said, really, your only option is to quit. And one reason is because these people are pathological liars. They're just horrible people. And the other thing is, they're really good at charming the superiors. So they're going to get everybody to believe that they're right and you're wrong. And it's just so unhealthy that you just have to get out.
Give us an example, for instance, of what you found when you did your research.
Okay, well, we heard from hundreds of readers in response to this story, and people had these really devastating things to say. One reader told us about a boss that she had who would bat a wiffle ball at her employers. And she said, she had a really great swing. Many times, I'm sure my head would be missing had I not gotten under my desk. So, that's the kind of crazy stuff we were hearing.
Why don't you just, if somebody does something like that, you have legal rights.
Absolutely.
That's abuse.
Yeah, what was insane was just how many people I heard from who said they were actually fired. So they didn't quit, they didn't go try to file a claim. They kind of lived with it. And I think what we heard is that people kind of get used to it. They kind of start to think, hey, it's normal, for Jane to bat a wiffle ball at me. And, it's not until they get out of it that a week later their health starts to get better, their psyche starts to get better, and they realize, what, that was a very dysfunctional environment.
And that's when they file the lawsuit.
Hopefully it is, right? Yeah. Or at least get a better job, because you don't want to be working in that environment.
It's really a very interesting article. Allison, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We want to hear from you. Do you have a story about a horrible psychopathic boss? Tell us about it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/powerlunch. She tried to say. Ty, over to you.
All right, Sue, Allison, Power Rundown time. Bob Pisani, John Carney. Let's start with the psycho bosses. Bob, among the many psycho bosses you've had at CNBC, which one was the worst?
Thank you for bringing that one up. Thank you. Can I get up now and leave? Look, I think this is a great story. Yeah. Managing people is a completely separate skill set than everything else. Yeah. Most people aren't very good at it. I'd say yes to everybody. I'd be a terrible manager. But we should find people who can do it well and pay them a lot of money, because we have seen, all of us, the effects of bad management. I love this story. I think it's a major human resource problem in the United States, but that's what has to do. Human resources has to do a better job of spotting this and managing people.
Was I a psychopathic boss or not?
You were a wonderful boss. And may I say, you were looking very good today as well. Thank you very much.
John Carney, how do you deal with a psycho boss, man?
Your employees quitting out of any one part. If everybody's quitting, you might have to think maybe they have bad management. I think not enough companies really pay attention to the happiness of their employees. That's really important to having your company go successful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's really true. If the employees are happy and engaged, the products will be good, the customers will be happy and engaged.
And you can find people who care about them and want to make them better workers.
Absolutely.
That's not obvious.
Activision CEO Bobby Kotick's investment group is buying back $2.3 billion worth of